and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Gold. From hours and hours of archival footage, we've selected a group of special matches that we know you're going to enjoy. So let's get down to ringside to our guest commentators, Dave Meltzer and Jim Cornette.
This next match has special interest to Jim Cornette because it features the first person that Jim Cornette ever managed, Sherry Martel. She takes on the veteran Judy Martin.
That's right, and Judy Martin, of course, was trained by the fabulous Moolah, one of the great women wrestlers of all time. So Sherry Martel had her work cut out for her, and unfortunately for Sherry, in this match, I wasn't at ringside, so I couldn't help her out.
For your next match of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, girl wrestlers. In the right corner, weighing in at 150 pounds from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Judy Martin. In the left corner, weighing in at 140 pounds from New Orleans, Louisiana, Sherry Martel.
Well, the girls decorate the screen here on Southwest Championship Wrestling as we have Sherry Martel against Judy Martin. It is Sherry Martel on the ropes, Judy Martin in front with a forearm. They continue the excitement here. Look at Sherry Martel with a drop kick, and down goes Judy Martin. Oh, what excitement we had. We showed you from Houston, Texas earlier where Tully Blanchard and Gino Hernandez defeated Ken Lucas and Rick Morton for the Southwest Tag Team Championship. And of course, you heard the dynamic duo out here. And then Bob Sweetan in a match. A Mongolian Stomper out to interfere. Began to beat up on Sweetan. Don Carson was there. They brought the black glove out we heard so much about. They really opened up some wounds on the head of Bob Sweetan, and Dick Slater finally came out, jumped off the top rope onto the Mongolian Stomper, and Carson, the Stomper, left. And while the girls are in the ring, ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you of event number 2 coming to San Antonio's Hemisphere Arena on Sunday, August the 15th. There are 10 exciting matches. The world's champion, Nick Bockwinkel, will be there. You'll see the dynamic duo in action. You'll see the Mongolian Stomper, Dick Slater, the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd, Ivan Putski, the Grappler, Hacksaw Duggan, the King, Jerry Lawler, Andy Kaufman of Taxi and Saturday Night Live will also be at the Hemisphere Arena. Remember that date, Sunday, August the 15th, 8:30. San Antonio's Hemisphere Arena, the biggest thing in the state of Texas for professional wrestling. A slam as Judy Martin puts down Sherry Martel. But Sherry Martel got out from underneath Judy Martin as she come flying to the air. Sherry Martel in front of Judy Martin. She backflips her. Grabs her by the hair. Sherry Martel stomps the head of Judy Martin. If you're wondering about the whereabouts of Ken Lucas and Rick Morton, of course, Lucas with that damaged shoulder, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, unable to be here tonight, and Ken Lucas out. Rick Morton decided not to come to Southwest Championship Wrestling, and of course, Tully Blanchard and Gino Hernandez say they are humiliated so much that they don't want to show up. Well, we'll have to wait and see about that. Martin with a kick to the top of the head of Sherry Martel. Martin knocking Martel down again. Clothesline by Judy Martin as she cuts the legs out from underneath Sherry Martel. Big open hand to the back, knocking Sherry Martel back to the mat. The excitement you're seeing today here on Southwest Championship Wrestling is the excitement you get at arenas wherever Southwest Championship Wrestling are held. Take out the whole family and enjoy a night with the professionals from Southwest Championship Wrestling. Judy Martin grabbing the hair of Sherry Martel. Now from in behind, she puts a forearm across the chest of Sherry Martin. Here comes a count. It was 1. A knee lift. as Sherry Martin is knocked onto the ropes, but Sherry comes up with a forearm of her own, trying to knock Judy Martin back. She goes to the side headlock. Line that time coming from Sherry Martel as she took Judy Martin down. Off the ropes, Judy Martin goes in behind Sherry Martel. Sherry Martel goes up in the air. Look at this move. Rolls her up at the small package and then sunset wickets. 1, 2, 3. As Sherry Martel went up in the air, brought Judy Martin down, rolled her up between her legs, and it was 1, 2, 3. And the girls excite the crowd here on Southwest Championship Wrestling. Sherry Martel wins it. We'll be back with more right after this.
This next match is going to be quite a treat because we're going to have one of the greatest in-ring performers this business ever produced, Shawn Michaels, when he was only 20 years old, wrestling Ken Johnson.
That's right, and I think even though you'll see that Shawn Michaels was green and inexperienced here, you'll see flashes of the greatness that he would show later on when he became the World Wrestling Federation champion. Here's Shawn Michaels in his rookie season.
Introducing on my left, weighing in at 250 pounds from Missouri, Ken Johnson. Weighing in at 230 pounds from San Antonio, Texas, Shawn Michaels.
Well, Shawn Michaels is back here on Texas All-Star Wrestling now as he goes up against Ken Johnson. Michaels hooks up with Johnson. Now Johnson with the arm bar and reverse, and Michaels reverses that.
Here I am, Steve. I know you asked for it, the people asked for it, and here I am.
Well, you're back again. Yeah, I don't think the only thing the people were asking for, El Madrill, was Jose Lothario to come down and punch you out. That was a sucker punch you threw at that young kid.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Now, you don't think to tell me if that was Jose Lothario, you wouldn't do the same thing?
I don't think so. Look at Shawn Michaels. What moves we're getting in the ring from him. Michaels holds onto the head of Ken Johnson here on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Did you see how easy that was? I wish I was Lothario. If it was Lothario, I did the same thing. I'd have knocked him out, too. I can't wait for that match.
Well, you're pretty smart because you had the referee come in between. You had him blocked out, then you just reached up and sucker punched him. You know, I know you do a lot of things, but oh, well, what can I say?
Hey, in love and war, all is fair, Steve. And if you can't handle it in this business, you might as well get out of it. This is the tough man's business, baby. And you can ask Jose Lothario, Chavo Guerrero, or anybody.
Oh, a cross body block. Oh, I thought Michaels had him.
Yeah, you see him holding onto the trunks there, Steve?
Yeah, I don't think he was holding onto the trunks. A little later on, ladies and gentlemen, Voodoo Malumba will be here. Also, the American Force will be out there, the Texas Tag Team Champion. And coming up in the next match, a man we haven't seen in a while here on Texas All-Star Wrestling, Vinny Valentino.
Rudolph what?
No, Vinny Valentino.
Oh, Vinny Valentino. Wow. What is this, from the grape country? Is that where he's from?
Michaels grabs the leg of Ken Johnson. There's a spin him around and a drop kick. Going to the side headlock, Shawn Michaels, San Antonio, Texas, San Antonio Road.
What, am I supposed to be impressed? I don't even like the song.
Well, I know there's a nice backdrop by Ken Johnson. I know you're a country music lover, Miguel, so don't tell me you don't know who Bob Wills was.
Sure I do. I'm sure you know who he is. You were about the same age as he was.
Slam by Ken Johnson. Elbow by Ken Johnson.
I think you wrote that song, didn't you, Stack?
I may have. They exchanged blows.
Vinny Valentino, I'll tell you what, we ought to take up a collection for that guy and buy him a pair of boots. You don't even have any boots.
Well, Michaels finds a knee in the midsection.
Now look at that beautiful elbow smash.
On the ropes is Johnson. Here he comes. Has that fist doubled up into the back of Shawn Michaels.
Look at real exciting Shawn Michaels. Not too exciting now, is he?
Michaels gets backflipped as Johnson got a shoulder in there, buried it in the midsection, flipped him over. Johnson reaching for a slam. Oh, backbreaker.
You see that? What did I tell you? You can't sell this Johnson guy short. He knows a few tricks himself.
They exchange blows. They're directly in front of us here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. They're backing into the corner. Michaels in the corner. Ken Johnson in front. Johnson grabs him by the arm. Whips him all the way across the ring. In goes Johnson. Michaels moved out of the way. Johnson buries the shoulder into the steel post that holds up the corner over there.
I'll tell you what, look at that. Look at that young kid, Michaels, huffing and a puffing. You know, if he wants to get in the major leagues with Chavo Guerrero and myself, he's be able to wrestle all night long, baby, because I'll wrestle. I don't care how long it takes to defeat my opponent.
Here he is. He's up on the middle rope. He's pounding the head of Ken Johnson. Oh, he's going up on the top rope. On the top rope, there's a fist. There's a flip. He's up. He catches Johnson. He backflips him. Drop kicks him. Drop kicks him again. Oh, this Shawn Michaels is really exciting. As they man, there's that power slam. It should be all over. 1, 2, 3, and it is. It's all over. Shawn Michaels flipping off that rope, coming up with some great moves, and Shawn Michaels wins another one.
For a long time, the dynamic duo of Gino Hernandez and Tully Blanchard were the most hated tag team in San Antonio wrestling. But the Grapplers came into town and they were challenging them not only in the ring, but also for their status as the most hated wrestlers.
Well, I've been involved with a lot of great tag teams, from the Midnight Express to the Heavenly Bodies, the Rock and Roll Express, and the Fantastics. And I can tell you one thing, Gino Hernandez and Tully Blanchard and the Grapplers were two of the finest tag team combinations in professional wrestling at this time. Take a look at this tremendous contest.
Introducing first the challengers from Houston, Texas, at 230 pounds, gorgeous Gino Hernandez. And his partner from San Antonio, Texas, at 236 pounds, Tully Blanchard. Their opponents, the fabulous Don Carson, presents from parts unknown with a combined weight of 490 pounds, the Southwest Tag Team Champions, the Grapplers. One fall, TV time remaining.
Well, folks, what you're going to see here tonight is a rarity. I've never seen it done before. The Southwest Tag Team Championship belts are up for grabs. The Grapplers and their manager, Don Carson, is over here coaxing his men. They're going against Tully Blanchard and Gino Hernandez. You've got four guys that are just about equal in ability, size, and agility. And I really don't know who to root for in this match, Steve, because you've got the champions, you've got the former champions. Both teams will do anything in their power to win these belts. And this is a rarity. It's never been done before on television.
I know, and they had that big challenge last week, and I didn't think the Grapplers would accept it, but Don Carson says he'll accept any challenge. He took it here. Right now, it's the Grappler #1 going against gorgeous Gino Hernandez. Oh, Jack Howe really getting on the Grappler.
I tell you what, when it's a championship match like this, you know Jack's going to be extra sharp. As I can see, Grappler #1's in there. He's always an aggressive type wrestler, a go behind, a takedown, a sit out by Gino. Grappler staying on him, but Gino wisely goes to the ropes and trips the Grappler. Typical move by one Gino Hernandez.
You know, you're watching a championship match. It's not too often you see one on television with the titles on the line. Southwest Championship Wrestling, we give you the best.
Absolutely, Steve. You've got Tully Blanchard and Grappler #2 in there. These guys are virtually the same size, all four of them.
Oh, what a fist. Oh.
Change blows and look like Tully got the worst end of it. The Grapplers are out there. They want to keep these belts, Steve. They're a cherished, coveted thing, and they're not about to give them up easily. I tell you what, these men are out there fighting fire with fire.
Well, the Grapplers talking over that Don Carson has given them instructions. He's given plenty of instructions before they got in the ring. Tully Blanchard and Gino Hernandez, they've wrestled together, I guess, 5, 6, 7 years. They know each other move. Here you see a full Nelson being applied by Grappler #2. Hernandez comes in. Oh, and Grappler turned him around, and Hernandez hit his own man.
That's absolutely right. Anything can happen in pro wrestling. It's the quickest sport known to man, and it's the oldest sport known to man, and I tell you what, it's the greatest sport as far as I'm concerned. Here you see these Grapplers work as a team. One held Tully while the other one belted him. A big flying elbow by the Grappler #1. sends Tully's crashing to the floor.
Oh, head slammed into that turnbuckle. Grappler number 1 with a snap mare has Blanchard down the center of the ring, an elbow. Here comes a count. Just one. Blanchard quickly kicking out of there. I think he'd like to tag out the Gino.
I think he would too, but you know, you can't underestimate Tully Blanchard. This guy's got it all together. You may not like the way he wrestles, or you may not like the way the other 3 wrestle. But as far as Tully goes, he knows where he's at all the time. He's real conscious, but he's in a bind right now. They've got him hooked. They're working on him. They're working on that back now. Big elbows.
I don't want to take away from this match, Scotch, but that message that Lou Thez gave us just a moment ago, trying to unify the World Wrestling Championship, I think that's the most exciting announcement I've ever heard in professional wrestling.
So have I. I was really amazed, and I was happy to hear it happen. It couldn't have happened at a better place than right here.
Okay, Blanchard, oh! His shoulder thrown into the turnbuckle. Grappler number 2 comes over after him. Blanchard trying to make a comeback to get rid of him. He wants to get out of there. Does he make it? Yes, he makes it, and Gino Hernandez comes in. I can't really tell who the fans are for because it's a constant yell inside the junction.
That's absolutely right. Looks like Gino's holding his own against both of them. This guy's something else. You get him wound up, it's hard to unwind him. He's throwing elbows, feet, everything he possibly can.
Boy, he's doing a good job on the grapplers. An elbow at the top of the head. Grappler number 2 hits the mat. Hernandez with a lot of damage on the grapplers. Grabs number 2, whips him across the ring. Well, he went in front for a backflip, but the grappler had enough left to get a kick, and he tags out. In comes grappler number 1.
I tell you what, these grapplers work well as a team. But as you see, Gino got out of the trouble too. He tagged out. He's getting Tully Blanchard in. Gino goes for a leg.
There you saw Tully do a smart thing, though. He knew the grappler was hot, so he stayed back, trying to cool the grappler down a little bit. Get him to calm down, get the heat off of him.
That's absolutely right. These guys are stalking each other. Tully's biding his time right now, and a big knee to the stomach sends a grappler to the mat. Boy, I hit him right in the solar plexus.
A little punching there, I believe.
A little punch or a chop to the throat. It had to go to the throat the way the grappler's laying there in pain. Tully's going up on his second rope. He knows the top rope's automatic DQ and comes off with a big elbow, drops another elbow on him. 1, almost a 2 count on him.
Well, I about picked up the cheers now. I believe the people are actually cheering for Tully Blanchard and Gino Hernandez against the grappler. I have never heard them cheer for Tully Blanchard before, but they're doing it here.
Neither have I, Steve. It's amazing. I tell you what, there's a lot of electricity and excitement in the air. You can see these people, it's almost, you can see the excitement. The people are chanting, "Go home, Carson."
The grapplers in the ring now. It's grappler number 1.
He's got his double elbow locked there. Got both elbows locked up.
Tully Blanchard out of the ring now as Gino Hernandez in. He covers up the grappler. As we pick up the action, grappler number 1 in the ring. Grappler number 2 is trying to get up on that top rope. He comes over the top, I believe, but the referee, did he get on the top rope, Scott?
It looked like he did to me, but the referee didn't catch it. It would have been an automatic disqualification. Gino had a front face lock on him. Now Tully's coming in. He's working that grappler over. They're exchanging blows left and right. Grappler didn't want any more. He rakes the eyes at Tully. Huge elbow. And he's going for the throat. Slammed his fist right in that mat. He comes back, regains his composure. They've got Tully in a bind right now.
Grappler number 1 tags in. Grappler number 2 holds him. You can see the tag team work here. Here comes Blanchard bouncing off the ropes. Clotheslined him. Oh, he clotheslined him. He may have got him out.
1, 2. Oh, Tully kicks out.
Here comes the other grappler now. This is 2 tagging back in. They have got Tully Blanchard the bad way right here.
They're like a well-oiled machine, Steve. Dropping knees, dropping elbows, everything they possibly can do. And the people are actually hollering, "Tully, Tully." They want to see him get out of this.
I can't believe it. They're yelling for Tully Blanchard.
I can't believe it either. I wouldn't have believed it unless I'd have seen it and heard it with my own eyes.
Well, I'm not taking anything away from Tully. Don't get me wrong. He's an exciting wrestler, but the fans don't like some of the things he does.
That's absolutely right, Steve.
I'd just soon watch him as anybody in the ring because he is excitement.
Oh, reverse neck breaker. That should have taken a lot of steam out of Tully, but he kicks out. The guy's got a lot of intestinal fortitude. I don't care what anybody says. I don't like his style, but he's giving it his all. Both these teams are. They know that the Southwest Tag Team belts are up, and I tell you what, either team could come out of this match with the belts because they're both capable. They're both great tag teams. But look at Don Carson down there chanting. He's got these guys honed in. He knows their every move. He works out with these guys religiously every day. Tully's inching his way back over to the corner. The tag is made. Gino comes in.
Is the referee going to let him stay? No, he didn't see the tag.
Referee doesn't see the tag.
Here's a switch on the other side, Scott.
I tell you, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and these guys will do it, either team. Another big elbow. He's got Tully in a bad way. Tully's fighting back, though.
There's the tag now. Gino Hernandez in. Hernandez grabs grappler number 2. Elbows to the back of the neck. Hernandez whips the grappler. Drop kick. Oh, he got high in the air.
Drop kick. He must have got 6 foot up in the air with that.
He kicked out.
The grappler tries for a tag. Gino's got him by the mask, slams his head into the turnbuckle, and in comes Tully.
Tully Blanchard reaches up and grabs him as the grappler tries to knock him off. Tully throws a knee. Tully has him up for a bad breaker. He's got him down. Here's a count, and it's 2, and the grappler kicks out. That's grappler number 2. Here's a tag the other way.
It's another thing, did you know that Tully Blanchard could chew gum through a 45-minute match and never miss a lick? And there's a rare miscue among the dynamic duo, Gino Hernandez and Tully Blanchard. Grappler goes for a slam. Gino with the roll-up right into his own partner. The old Anderson Brothers technique, sacrificed his partner. And the grappler too late to make the save.
Gino Hernandez and Tully Blanchard.
That with the Southwest Tag Team Championship was on the line. And Gino Hernandez there.
What's going on here?
Appeared like he was.
Gino thinks he won the title. They got the belts.
Yeah, they got the belts. Gino was scratching his left wrist there. I thought something was itching, but. Oh, wait a minute! Wait a minute! Tully Blanchard, how? That's a surprise even to me.
Tully Blanchard has turned on Gino Hernandez.
Turned on Gino Hernandez right there.
After they won the belts.
Oh my God.
He couldn't have been smart enough to turn on him before they won the belts. Or maybe after they'd had him for 6 months.
He looks like he's bleeding from his
goodness,
forehead.
that's like counterproductive. But this is
going on.
actually, which would mean this was the last match that Tully and Gino ever wrestled because they never got back together.
Going after Hernandez.
And here they go, fighting like cats and dogs. Bloody cat.
Actually, one of them was fighting like a dog, and the other one was fighting like a sissy. But I don't know which one was which. But the grappler's taking the opportunity
Gino now.
Gino Hernandez is pretty well cooked here. As Gorilla Monsoon would say, stick a fork in him, he is done. And Don Carson, I'll tell you one thing, if he kicks you with those shoes, you've had it.
Gino Hernandez have just
I wonder if he ever loaded those street shoes.
Those street shoes didn't need to be loaded. Those were the hardest shoes.
You don't need to
Look at Gino.
Here comes Gino. He nailed Carson too.
This was obviously designed to make Gino Hernandez a world beater and set up a huge Gino Hernandez, Tully Blanchard showdown, and I think it did just that. Excellent effort on all parts involved.
Gino Hernandez and Tully Blanchard.
Well, that's a question that's going to have to be answered by the commission. And the referee's even pissed.
Yeah, Jack Howell is not happy with this.
We'll be back. Look at the people are standing up.
Well, he was made to look like a fool by counting out the champions and awarding the belts to people who didn't
want the belts to begin with.
They love it. They love it. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more of exciting Southwest Championship Wrestling right after this.
Gino Hernandez and Tully Blanchard, the dynamic duo, were one of the most hated tag teams in the Southwest. And they finally split up because they just couldn't, the two egos just couldn't get along at all. And when they finally split up, it was time for them to wrestle each other, but they only wrestled once or twice.
Well, all good things must come to an end. If it's a marriage, the husband blames the wife blames the husband. If it's a wrestling tag team, each blames the other for carrying the team. In this case, we'll let you watch Tully Blanchard versus Gino Hernandez, and you make the call. Who was right?
Special referee for this match, a gentleman who had 90 professional fights, won 77 of them, 70 by knockout. He went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali. This is Ernie Davis. One fall, 60-minute time limit from San Antonio at 235 pounds, Dave Meltzer. And his opponent right here in Houston, 230 pounds, 5 minutes gone. 5 minutes. Shawn, 10 minutes.
There's an old saying that you can't judge the book by the cover, and probably in pro wrestling it's never been more apropos than the late Adrian Adonis. The guy did not look like anything special, but he was in the ring. He could do things that very, very few men could do. And his opponent in this match, Bob Orton Jr., was one of the classic scientific wrestlers of the era. And Lou Thesz is involved. He's at ringside in this match.
Well, Bob Orton Jr. and Adrian Adonis both had a reputation amongst the wrestlers in the locker room across the industry as two of the finest technicians in the game. When they got the chance to lock up, not only were the fans paying attention, but the eyes of the wrestling world were on this match. Now you get the opportunity to see it as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we have the introductions of this match, we have the World's Heavyweight Championship belt here that will be awarded to the winner of this match. And also the belt that was held by Lou Thesz is down here in the case, and Mr. Thesz would like to have this moment with you.
Thank you very much, Steve. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the belt to be awarded to the winner. The original belt, which is 75 years old, that I have had possession of for several years, will also be presented to the winner. This is the first time in 20 years that we will have a leg on developing an undisputed heavyweight wrestling champion. This is the beginning of something very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And there, the referee, Jack Howe, has the 75-year-old belt. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event this evening. One fall, 60-minute time limit. The winner to be the new world's heavyweight champion. Introducing first, from Kansas City, Kansas, 242 pounds, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. Orton. And from New York City, New York, weighing in at 257 pounds, Adrian Adonis. Adonis. One fall, 60 minutes.
Hey, Les. Leslie, turn your flash on. Flash on.
5 minutes gone. 5 minutes.
Come to the press room after this. We'll get the winner over there for a post-fight interview. Is that okay? Take some pictures with the belt. Yeah. Take some in the ring. Yeah, very good. Minutes gone. 10 minutes.
Time 15 minutes, 22 seconds. Going into the ring now, Luthez to present the World Heavyweight Championship belt to Adrian Adonis.
.15 minutes, 22 seconds. The winner of his third match tonight and the new world's heavyweight champion from New York, Adrian Adonis. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Adonis, the new world's heavyweight champion. Here he is.
Puerto Rico to Japan, through all over the United States, and probably parts of the world that we don't even know existed. There were matches between Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher, and this is going to be another one of those wars.
Who's the toughest, a Butcher or a Bruiser? A 400-pound madman from the Sudan or a 350-pound Texan with a win-at-any-cost mentality? Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher did one thing. They left a trail of blood and broken bones from one end of this world to the other. And here's a chance for you to watch one of their classic encounters.
Brody has a chair. Brody has a chair. Whoa! Right across the head of Abdullah the Butcher. Brody with a chop to the head of Abdullah the Butcher. And another one. Brody biting Abdullah the Butcher. Brody rolls up underneath the bottom rope. He's in the ring. Abdullah the Butcher still outside, trying to make his way up. Here he comes. Brody's waiting on him. Big chops from Brody. Does it again. Abdullah trying to get into the ring, trying to work his way in between the ropes. He finally gets there. Brody goes to pulling it maybe close to the eye there. It's around the area of eye, and Abdullah kicks him. Whoa! Down goes the referee. Abdullah the Butcher right there. There's a headbutt from Abdullah the Butcher, and George Stevens is out. No referee. These two guys don't like to have a referee anywhere around, and they sure got their chance right here as they're both have taken care of George Stevens. Coming out of the dressing room on my right, I see another referee has been called by one of the officials. This will be Rudy Gonzalez, so the referee would refereed some of the earlier matches here at the Hemisphere Arena. He's asking for the bell. I know that he's going to really stop these two guys. Yeah, down go Rudy Gonzalez. Brody and Abdullah the Butcher are coming outside into the crowd. Better clear the way as these two giants are battling outside. George Stevens being helped out of the ring by the doctor. Brody and Abdullah the Butcher battling it out. They're in the crowd. Look out. Here they come. The lights come on. They're battling. A little choking, a little punching, a little bit of everything. They're out in the crowd. They're coming over to where the TV cameras are. They're fighting. They're still fighting. We've lost them now. The crowd is all over the place. Brody has a board as the fans have come up onto the stand. They're milling all around the cameras and everywhere else, unable to control, as Brody and Abdullah the Butcher are still fighting right here. Brody and Abdullah the Butcher battling out to our left in amongst the crowd, having a hard time with the young kids coming up on the stand. The fans began to yell, "Bruiser, Bruiser." They're all over. They're just about to step on our equipment as Brody and Abdullah are still battling over here on the left. They're battling it out over here on the left. Now they're battling back towards the dressing rooms. They're just going to battle it completely out of the arena. I've lost them. There they are. I can't get this crowd out of the way. Very unruly. They're still battling it off on the left. And ladies and gentlemen, this crowd is moving now as Abdullah the Butcher and Brody have come up onto the high-rise area. They're here. Abdullah and Brody right up here on the high-rise area. The San Antonio Police Department has cleared everybody off. They're still battling it out. Abdullah and Brody. Oh, Here's a big chop. They're very close to us here. Walk riding into the camera. They're just a foot away from the camera as they battle it out. Headbutt. Brody. Abdullah the Butcher. I don't want to be this close to these guys, but there's nowhere I can go. Brody and Abdullah still battling it around. They're being knocked all over the high-rise. Here comes Brody with a chair right here to my left. Abdullah the Butcher is down off the high-rise. Abdullah the Butcher and Brody. Abdullah's not through yet, I don't believe. Maybe he's leaving.
In the early 1980s, there was a promotional agreement that created some interpromotional matches between the promotions in Georgia and in San Antonio. Each company sent a representative. For Georgia, it was Larry Zbyszko, and for San Antonio, it was Scott Casey.
Well, I don't know about any agreements between any promotions, but I do know a lot about Texans. There's one thing about a Texan, their pride is as big as all outdoors, and Scott Casey was not about to let Larry Zbyszko come in, being the out-of-towner from Georgia, and get out of the state of Texas by beating Scott Casey. Casey was going to do something about it come hell or high water.
Casey Zbyszko going for the leverage. Let's see who comes up with it. Casey trying to power the national heavyweight champion back. So far, it's about equal. Now Zbyszko may have a slight advantage. Zbyszko moving in behind, twisting around, comes around the front and has a headlock, but he doesn't keep it long. Shoulder tackle, down goes Casey. Over the top goes Zbyszko. Oh, a reversal of the hip toss. It's Casey who's down. He kicks Zbyszko off. Flies through the air with an elbow smash, and Zbyszko moved out from underneath. Zbyszko back in behind with a face lock. Shawn. 10 minutes. Zbyszko, the national heavyweight champion, holding on to Scott Casey at the 10-minute mark. Referee Juan Reynosa asking Scott Casey, would he like to concede? And once again, Casey says no. Larry Zbyszko, a very tough customer. That's why he's a national heavyweight champion. Referee checking the arm of Casey. It looks like he may be out with a sleeper hold. Nope, not quite. Casey still has enough left. The fans yell, go Scott, go. Casey trying to make the move. He'd like to get out of this, get things going around, shake out the cobweb. Zbyszko holding on to the side headlock as Casey tries to maneuver. Larry Zbyszko yelling to the timekeeper to ring the bell, but there's no reason to ring the bell. Scott Casey has not conceded as Casey has him up and drops him across the knee. Scott Casey has dropped Larry Zbyszko across that knee, just as the national heavyweight champion thought he might have Casey in a position to concede the match. Casey with a side suplex. The national heavyweight champion's down. Casey drops the knee very close to the throat of Zbyszko. Here's the count. 1, 2. And Zbyszko has a leg over the bottom rope. Casey drops across that leg that was laying over that bottom rope, and Zbyszko will be limping now. There's a kick. Zbyszko grabs Casey by the hair, slams his head into the turnbuckle. The head of Scott Casey slammed in the turnbuckle across the way. Zbyszko brings him this way. Here he comes, right out here onto the table. Scott Casey laying right here on the table, about 1 foot from me. The national heavyweight champion, Larry Zbyszko, has thrown him out here. Scott Casey. Here comes Zbyszko after him. Zbyszko slams his head onto the table. And Larry Zbyszko being backed out of the way by the referee, Juan Reynosa. Casey still out here on the table. Zbyszko grabs him again, slams him down into the table again. Casey about to roll off, and he does, onto the concrete floor. Scott Casey here out onto the concrete floor to Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio, Texas. Casey staggering up towards the apron. He gets up onto the apron. Zbyszko trying to get over after him. Here he comes. And there's a fist, and here comes Casey again. Scott Casey trying to figure out how to get back into the ring. Larry Zbyszko is over there. I don't know what Zbyszko's doing. It looks like he may be untying the turnbuckle across the way. The plastic cover that conceals that steel turnbuckle over there. Zbyszko was over there untying it, I believe, but here in the ring he rakes the boots across the eyes of Scott Casey. Casey whipped across the ring. Zbyszko gets a knee to the midsection. Casey goes down. Zbyszko grabs him. Zbyszko trying to pick him up for a suplex. Casey reverses it. Casey with a suplex on Larry Zbyszko. Both men showing the wares of this match as they are about to reach the 15-minute mark. What a fight it has been between the national heavyweight champion Larry Zbyszko and the cowboy from Texas, Scott Casey. 15 minutes long. Casey coming up on top of Zbyszko, and it's 2. Zbyszko had enough left to kick out. Casey in front again. Here he comes. The national heavyweight champion holding that back. Casey with a reverse neck breaker. And Zbyszko may be gone. Casey crawls on top, and Zbyszko kicks him off. Casey slams the head of Larry Zbyszko into the mat. Does it again. Here comes Scott Casey. Zbyszko whipped across the ring. Oh, Casey catches him in a sleeper hold, and they bounced him off the rope. Scott Casey in the center of the ring with a sleeper hold on the national heavyweight champion Larry Zbyszko. Can he put him out? Zbyszko crawling to the corner, and he made it, but Casey snatches him out of that corner right back to the sleeper hold. Zbyszko twisting and turning. He doesn't want to go out here. The national heavyweight champion may be going. Looks like he may be out of it. No, he's into the ropes across the way. He's hanging out on the other side of that bottom rope, so he'll get a break from the cowboy. Scott Casey is the referee. Juan Reynosa backs him out of there. Zbyszko reaches down, snatches the legs of Casey. Here's the count. It's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And Larry Zbyszko, after it looks like he was put out with a sleeper hold, come up and snatch the legs out from underneath Scott Casey in the time of 16 minutes and 35 seconds. Here comes Tully Blanchard into the ring. The Southwest heavyweight champion, Tully Blanchard, into the ring. I believe he's claiming that Zbyszko used the ropes for leverage. Casey is complaining that Zbyszko used the rope for leverage, but here is Eric Embry now to take the case of Scott Casey to the referee, Juan Reynosa. And Zbyszko pops down Eric Embry. Casey has Zbyszko. Tully Blanchard now helps out. Blanchard takes Casey, throws him over the top rope onto the floor. Going after Embry now. They hold Embry, and it's Zbyszko and Blanchard punishing Embry. Here's Hansen into the ring. Hansen back in, and the big bad man from Borger, Texas, cleans out. But the victory will stand. The national heavyweight champion, Larry Zbyszko, the winner. We'll be back with more right after this.
In San Antonio, Texas, they had a big war over who was the master of the pile driver. It was Jerry the King Lawler and Bruiser Bob Sweetan.
Well, I think you'll find out if they were going to have a beauty contest, Sweet Tan would have lost, hands down. Got to be the ugliest human being I've ever seen in my life. But in a battle of the pile drivers, Jerry the King Lawler had a distinct advantage. Take a look when Lawler and Sweet Tan lock up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, coming up into the ring at the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio, Texas, is the King, Jerry Lawler. He is preparing to go in what is going to be probably a pile driver against a pile driver, as we're waiting the appearance of Mr. Pile Driver himself, Bob Sweetan. And here he comes on the right, entering this huge crowd here at the Hemisphere Arena. Our referee, Jack Howe, is already in the ring. And what a match this ought to be. The King, Jerry Lawler from Memphis, Tennessee. You can see him in the ring. And there he is, Mr. Pile Driver Bob Sweetan. And now Marty Martinez, a ring announcer, will be making the introductions. A tremendous crowd on hand for the event number 2. The King, Jerry Lawler, now being introduced. And Bob Sweetan will get his introduction here at the Hemisphere Arena. And you can hear the roar of the crowd. They're on the side of Bob Sweetan. Now, Jerry Lawler has the microphone, and he says he'd like to have a little more respect from the people. He's saying you're having the privilege to see a network television star. Of course, he's speaking about his appearance with Andy Kaufman on some of the late night shows. The David Letterman show was the latest he's appeared on. Referee Jack Howe trying to tell Jerry Lawler to put the crown and everything else outside the ring, and let's get underway with the action. This has to be the first time that these two met in many, many years. It may be the first time they've ever met. Both of them claim to be the best at applying the pile driver. Bob Sweetan calls himself Mr. Pile Driver. Jerry Lawler calls himself the King. So only time will tell here on Southwest Championship Wrestling as we've moved into the big arena to bring you these exciting matches. Oh, Lawler not liking what Sweetan might do. Sweetan is threatening to step on the crown of the King, Jerry Lawler. Lawler doesn't like it at all. The referee is telling Sweetan no, but that doesn't mean anything. Sweetan is still standing. And now he reaches down and picks up the crown, and it puts it on his head, and the fans love it. Well, I don't think Lawler likes it at all, but he's not going to go over and take it away. And Sweetan takes his cape, the cape of Jerry Lawler, and wipes the toes of his boots with it. Now Lawler comes out of the ring. Jerry Lawler outside the ring. The bell has not sounded for the start of this match yet. We're waiting for Lawler to get back into the ring, and I'm sure as soon as he steps in, the bell will sound and we'll be underway with this match. Referee Jack Howe checks over Jerry Lawler. Lawler backs away from him. And ladies and gentlemen, the man standing back here to my right is interested in this match, Cowboy Scott Casey. And Scott, I know you can tell me about the pile driver here, Jerry Lawler and Bob Sweetan. Sweetan applied it to you.
That's absolutely right, Steve. I was out of wrestling for almost 2 months. Rapidio, you and Steve both know that I've been wrestling for almost 10 years now. and I've never had anything affect me like this pile driver does. What I'm watching here is I'm watching a match with a lot of mixed emotion. I'd like to see Bob Sweetan win it. I'd like to see Jerry Lawler win it. I really don't know who, but I'll tell you one thing, whoever wins it is going to win with a pile driver. I feel that deep down inside because, fellas, that's their game there. That's their hole, the pile driver.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Stick around because we'll be calling on you to... Well, Sweetan and Lawler. Oh. I don't know whether you could hear that over the microphone, but Jerry Lawler telling Bob Sweetan, he said he's about as bad as that Andy Kaufman. He slapped Kaufman across the face, and now he slapped Sweetan, but I don't believe Lawler really means that because he knows what Sweetan is.
Well, I'll say one thing, fellas. You're looking at a man, Bob Sweetan, who I know like the back of my hand, and there's about 285 pounds in there. He's going against one Jerry Lawler, and he's about 240. But let me tell you what, it's like the unstoppable force against the immovable force. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a rough match either way you go.
Okay, here we are now up in the ring. Here we go now, Jerry Lawler, Bob Sweetan. Well, the referee, Jack Howe, telling Lawler, let's get in there and let's get after it. Backed onto the ropes. It's Sweetan in front. Oh, and Lawler ducks underneath and Lawler reaches up there and slaps him, and he better run. He better run because Bob Sweetan, 285 pounds, gets hold of him. There won't be much of Jerry Lawler left. Lawler staying outside the ring. Referee counting. Lawler still staying outside the ring. Sweetan moving back so that Lawler can get in. I don't know that Lawler really wants to get in there. Remember, he's claiming what he did to Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman weighed 140 pounds. Sweetan weighs 285 pounds. Sweetan comes out of the ring chasing Kaufman, chasing Lawler. Lawler bails out also. Well. Well, Lawler saying he knows the rules. Those are open hand blows. Those are open hand blows that he was throwing at Bob Sweetan. Lawler outside the ring talking on a microphone to the crowd. He's already got the crowd stirred up. He's got Bob Sweetan stirred up. Lawler refusing to come into the ring. Now he finally makes it. Jerry Lawler, the king from Memphis, Tennessee, against Bob Sweetan, Mr. Pile Driver out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's Sweetan backing Lawler into the corner. He pulls him out with a side headlock. Whoop, it looked like he was going to throw a punch, but Lawler blocked it. Sweetan keeps him in the corner again. This time Lawler gets out of there. Bob Sweetan, you can see the look on his face. He is really mad, and I can't blame him. Taking a few of those slaps from Jerry Lawler. In the corner, Sweetan in front. Lawler blocks it and throws a punch of his own. Well, Sweetan went for the punch, and he didn't get it as Lawler got that forearm up there and blocked it. Oh, Sweetan is mad. Lawler staying in the corner. Now the referee, Jack Howe, says bring it out. Sweetan walking over towards Lawler. Now Lawler comes out of the corner. They lock up, and coming out with a side headlock is the King, Jerry Lawler. Holds on to that side headlock. Really locks it on tight. Sweetan gets a forearm up on the side of the neck of Lawler now. Sweetan blocks the punch, and there's a punch that sends Lawler down into the corner. Oh, and he gets out of there and he bails out in a hurry. Sweetan just turned the tables on him that time. Lawler went for the punch. Sweetan got that forearm up, blocked it, laid one in there on Lawler, and Lawler went down, and finally out underneath the bottom rope, he went onto the floor. Sweetan signaling to the crowd that he used an open hand, but I don't think he knows it. Outside on the apron, Jerry Lawler talking to the referee. And I think Lawler's saying it was no open hand, it was a punch. And Sweetan says no open hand. Lawler now comes in between the ropes. Lawler staying away from Sweetan at this point in the match. Lawler backed into the corner, puts his in underneath that rope. Referee counts him back in. Well, so far, Jerry Lawler has been evading Bob Sweetan. Lawler wants a hookup, and Sweetan does. Lawler with a kick, Sweetan with a kick. Down goes Lawler. Oh. Jerry Lawler gets another kick from Bob Sweetan. There's another one. Sweetan going for the pile driver quickly. And Lawler goes for the ropes, and he ties his legs up in those ropes. He doesn't want Sweetan to get anything on him. And here comes Lawler back outside the ring. So Bob Sweetan going for the first pile driver of the night was blocked by Jerry Lawler as Lawler grabbed the ropes with his legs, tied himself up, got a referee, Jack Howe, to give him a break.
You know where I come from, where we wrestle civilized, like the pile driver is an illegal hold.
Well, Lawler complaining about the pile driver, says where he comes from, the pile driver is an illegal hold. Well, Mr. Lawler should have looked at the rules when he came into this ring, because the pile driver is not an illegal hold here. Well, Sweetan feels about like the crowd does. He just asked Lawler, did he come here to fight or to shoot off his mouth? And all he's been doing lately is shooting off his mouth. So Lawler now finally gets up on the apron. Lawler walking away from Sweetan. Sweetan has him in the corner, but he doesn't go in after him. Now the referee says, come out of there and let's get after it. Lawler staying in the corner. The referee is getting mad at the King, Jerry Lawler, and I don't blame him. Now here comes Lawler back outside the ring again, and Lawler's leaving. Lawler is leaving. He looked like he was going back to the dressing room. He is complaining about something that the referee is saying to him, and all I can figure out is Jack Howe's telling him to come on, get out of that corner, let's fight. Here he goes back to the mic. He's wanting a real referee. Well, Lawler wanting another referee. I don't believe he's going to get it. Jerry Lawler staying away from Bob Sweetan. What has been billed as a match, the pile driver versus the pile driver. Sweetan has gone for one pile driver so far, and it was blocked by Lawler. Other than that, there hasn't been too much. Uh-oh, that was close to the eyes. Lawler getting that thumb or the fingers close to the eye area. You can see Sweet Tan dazed back into the corner, sitting on that bottom rope. Lawler going after him in the corner. Lawler reaches in, grabs Sweet Tan, puts him down on the mat. With the fist, he misses. As Sweet Tan got out from underneath, he's going for the pile driver again, and Lawler pushes him back into the corner. So Jerry Lawler quickly getting Sweet Tan back in the corner. Now Sweet Tan kicks him down. Bob Sweet Tan with the boot, putting it to Jerry Lawler. So far, Lawler has been unable to go for the pile driver against Sweet Tan. Sweet Tan holding on to that left arm. Sweet Tan puts a twist in that left arm. Elbow into the left arm of the King, Jerry Lawler. All of it being done by Bob Sweet Tan. Ring announcer announces 10 minutes have gone by in this match. Sweet Tan holding on to that left arm. Oh, does he have it twisted up tight? Jerry Lawler moving around. Throws a punch and he lands it on the jaw of Bob Sweet Tan, and he goes in after him and stays on top of him. Jerry Lawler now the aggressor as he goes after Bob Sweet Tan. Going a left, another left, lays him on the jaw of Sweet Tan, and there's a right, and down goes Bob Sweet Tan. Jerry Lawler, high in the air he goes and drops a knee across the chest of Bob Sweet Tan. Lawler grabbing the hair. Throws a punch that was very close to the throat. Lawler proud of himself now. Let's see if the King goes for the pile driver. Here he goes. Oh, and Sweet Tan flips him off. The King, Jerry Lawler, made his first move for the pile driver, and Bob Sweet Tan just flipped him right over his back. Sweet Tan now with a punch. Bob Sweet Tan going after Jerry Lawler, and a big boot there puts Lawler on the mat. An elbow smash from Sweet Tan. He's got him down for a count of 2. Oh, that was close. Sweet Tan taking Lawler, lays him on the ropes, whips him across the ring, cuts him back with that elbow, and down goes Jerry Lawler. Another elbow smash by Sweet Tan. Lawler kicks out. Sweet Tan grabs the hair, brings the King, Jerry Lawler, up. Oh, what an uppercut that was, and that sent Lawler back to the mat. Sweet Tan reaching in, has him up for a beautiful back suplex. Oh, and he went right into the ropes. The King, Jerry Lawler, is covered up by Sweet Tan. Here's the count. It is up. A leg over that bottom rope. I don't believe it was a 3 count, as Lawler had the leg over the bottom rope. 2 count. I thought the referee gave him 3, but Lawler did have a leg over the bottom rope. There's another back suplex. Sweet Tan trying to keep him from rolling around. He's got him covered up again, and this time it's 3. This time I believe it was 3. Lawler has got a leg over that bottom rope. Let's see if the referee is going to... Oh, no. I don't believe he's going to award the match to Sweet Tan. He isn't. Now, there's no doubt about that. From my position here at the arena, it looked like that leg went over the bottom rope after the 3 count. Now Lawler gets a knee up in there. He's got Sweet Tan down. Lawler using the rope for leverage. He got the 3 count. Jerry Lawler, using the rope for leverage, has got the 3 count on Sweet Dan. Now Sweet Dan comes back at him for the pile driver. He drops him on his head. Oh, this crowd is going crazy. Listen to this crowd. They want Sweet Dan to do it again. Sweet Dan is up on that middle rope. Lawler is down, suffering from the pain that has been brought to him by that pile driver by Bob Sweet Dan, and Sweet Dan is leaving the ring. He lost the match, but he did get to put the pile driver on the King, Jerry Lawler. Lawler was the winner of the match. It looked like Sweet Dan had won, but the referee decided that Lawler had a leg over that bottom rope, and then Lawler come up, kicked Sweet Dan down, put him down to the mat for the 3 count, and he was definitely using the rope for leverage. The referee didn't see it. It was 1, 2, 3. The King, Jerry Lawler, wins it. We'll be back with more after this.
When Gino Hernandez and Tully Blanchard ruled San Antonio Wrestling as the top tag team, the Dynamic Duos, one of their toughest opponents they were ever going to face was a team composed of Ivan Putski and the legendary Terry Funk.
Well, I think one thing you're going to find, Hernandez and Blanchard definitely had a lot more tag team continuity than Putski and Funk. You couldn't find 2 more dissimilar individuals. However, one thing you're going to find is that Funk and Putski both have heart, and that's something that Gino and Tully may be a little bit short on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're picking up the action in a match for the Southwest Tag Team Championship. The champions, the Dynamic Duo, Tully Blanchard and Gino Hernandez, defending their titles. It's Tully Blanchard in the ring, and they defend these titles against the former world's champion Terry Funk and a powerful pull-out Ivan Putski. And Gino Hernandez is tagged in. Terry Funk comes off the rope. Hernandez catches him with a drop kick, puts him down. Here comes the count from the referee, Jack Howe. It was 2. Tully Blanchard comes into the ring now. He goes after Terry Funk. So far, Terry Funk and Ivan Putski have been pouring it on the champions, but the champions trying to make a comeback here. Tully Blanchard comes diving through the air and throws an elbow across the chest. There comes a count on Terry Funk, and it is 2. Tully Blanchard wanting a little quicker count. He's not going to get it. Tully Blanchard reaches down, grabs Terry Funk. Covers him up in front with a face lock. Funk trying to maybe make it over there where he can tag out to Ivan Putski. Well, they've had this crowd standing a few times in this match. Now, turning Funk around and bringing him over the other way was Tully Blanchard. He is tagged out and let Gino Hernandez come back in the ring. Hernandez grabs Funk off the ropes. Has him up in the air and a beautiful back suplex. Gino Hernandez is going up on the top rope. Hernandez is up on the top rope and he dives through the air right across the chest of Terry Funk, and Terry Funk still has enough left to kick out. Oh, not many men can do that. Tully Blanchard is in now. Off the ropes is Blanchard. Funk hits him with a forearm as he turned out of the way. He has knocked Blanchard out on the apron. The Southwest Tag Team Champions in trouble here. That title is on the line as Terry Funk lays some big haymakers in. He pushes the referee, Jack Howe, out of the way. Terry Funk is going wild. Jack Howe is holding Terry Funk as he put him back, and Tully Blanchard knocks Terry Funk down. Terry Funk was being held by the referee for just a moment. Blanchard took advantage of it. Now they pick up Terry Funk and throw him on top of the referee, Jack Howe. So Tully Blanchard was thrown on top of the referee, Jack Howe, by Terry Funk, and Funk tags out. Ivan Putski in there now. Hernandez is still in there. All 4 men in the action. Rick Morton has made his way down to the ring talking to the referee, Jack Howe. Ricky Morton, who was defeated along with Ken Lucas by Blanchard and Hernandez for the championship. In the ring, it's Tully Blanchard with Ivan Putski outside the ring. Gino Hernandez and Terry Funk make their way in. Now Jack Howe gets kicked out of the ring again, this time by Hernandez. Rick Morton come in the ring with a 3 count. Rick Morton came into the ring. Ivan Putski had Tully Blanchard down. Rick Morton acting as a referee, got the 3 count. Now Hernandez is going after Morton. Blanchard and Hernandez going after Morton. I don't know what Blanchard has, but Morton has. Ricky Morton has his shirt tore off of him by Gino Hernandez and Tully Blanchard. You can remember what they did to Ken Lucas. Put 23 stitches in his shoulder. Here's Hernandez up on the rope. Blanchard is holding it. Hernandez comes off that rope, dives into Ricky Morton. Now Blanchard with the knee. An elbow smash. Really hurting on Ricky Morton. Blanchard and Hernandez going wild. Ken Lucas is in there now. Ken Lucas has come out. That's Rick Morton's partner. Lucas going after Blanchard. Lucas going after Hernandez. Ken Lucas trying to clean house. Blanchard is bleeding. Morton is bleeding. Oh, Terry Funk is back in there now. He knocked Hernandez down with a headbutt. Ken Lucas is going after Tully Blanchard, and it looked like he was biting him. He was. Now he's going after Hernandez. Terry Funk is in there going after Gino Hernandez. Tully Blanchard gets another blow as Tully Blanchard has a big wound open up over the right eye. The bell has sounded, and there's no doubt about it. Everything has gotten out of hand. We'll wait for the official decision. I'm sure it's going to be a disqualification. We're waiting for the referee to give us the signal as what the official decision it was, and here it comes. Interference from Rick Morton and Ken Lucas. Interference, Rick Morton, Ken Lucas. So Tully Blanchard and Gino Hernandez. Tully Blanchard and Gino Hernandez retain the Southwest Tag Team Champions. What a match it was. A huge crowd here at the Hemisphere Arena loved it, and we hope you did at home, and we'll be back with more right after this.
You want to see a cage match? We got 2 wild men in a cage match. We got the Mongolian Stomper and Mr. Excitement Dick Slater, and the referee in this match is Bob Sweetan.
Well, Slater always unpredictable, but the Mongolian Stomper, a man who belongs in a cage. This guy is an animal, pure and simple, and the only referee, the only man that could possibly keep order would be a guy who prided himself on being the toughest competitor anywhere, not only in the state of Texas, but around the world, Bruiser Bob Sweetan. Take a look at the cage match when the animals are locked up, Slater and Stomper.
A cage around the ring, and inside the cage, special referee Bob Sweetan trying to keep things squared away between the Southwest Heavyweight Champion, a Mongolian Stomper, and Dick Slater. Outside the ring, Mr. Don Carson locked out of that ring by that cage so that he cannot interfere in the match. You know, he's been using the black glove. It did appear here on Southwest Championship Wrestling, so we know he's used it. Slater's head slammed into the chain by the Mongolian Stomper. He done that to him just a while ago and opened up a wound on the head of Dick Slater. Now the Stomper with a claw hold on the head of Dick Slater. Bob Sweetan, special referee, making sure that Don Carson doesn't get in this ring and doesn't interfere in the match. Carson has been doing his managing over the loudspeaker system here at the Hemisphere Arena. A claw hold by the Mongolian Stomper on the head of Dick Slater. A Mongolian Stomper, very powerful arms, can really clamp that claw hold on. There you see it, as the Mongolian Stomper continues to apply the pressure to the claw hold. Slater coming up there now. Let's see what Slater can do with him. An elbow to the top of the head of the Southwest champion, but the Southwest champion, a Mongolian Stomper, comes right back at Dick Slater, rakes the fingers across the eyes, takes Slater and throws his head into that chain again. A Mongolian Stomper now kicking that cut that is opened up on the head of Dick Slater, and back to the claw hold he goes. Dick Slater wanting to get revenge on the Mongolian Stomper for the things he's done for him. And the main thing is taking the Southwest Heavyweight Championship away from him. The title is not on the line in this match. Don Carson locked out of the ring by the cage. The claw hold still being applied to the head of Dick Slater by the Mongolian Stomper, and the crowd cheering Dick Slater on to try to get him to come up out of there. The Stomper holding on to Dick Slater. Oh, and Slater drops him back. Stomper reaching back up at Slater, takes his head. He's got it on that chain fence that has been put up around the ring. And he is taking that head of Dick Slater and just running it up and down that fence. And with a claw hold he's got on him again. Slater unable to get back in. The Stomper kicks his head into that chain. Now he brings him in the ring, and Dick Slater is in bad shape right now. Slater doesn't even know where he is. The Stomper takes his head, puts it into that steel cage again. You can see he is just raking the wounds that he's already opened up on the head of Dick Slater, raking him across that chain. Back to the claw hold in the center of the ring this time. The referee Bob Sweetan is there. The shoulders of Slater are not down. Here they're down now. Here comes the count. It's 2, and Slater picks up his left shoulder. A Mongolian Stomper. The Southwest Heavyweight Champion is really hurting Dick Slater. That claw hold looks like it is about to finish Dick Slater off. You're watching Southwest Championship Wrestling for where we've gone into the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio tonight to bring you some of event number 2, and what a great lineup it's been. The Stomper still holding on to that claw hold. Slater trying to figure a way out. Stomper still putting the pressure on Dick Slater. And here comes Slater. Oh, and he lays one on the side of the head of the Mongolian Stomper, but Slater is so dazed he doesn't even know where he is. He still knows, though, that he's got to get that Stomper. And a Stomper comes back. They exchange blows. Slater grabbing the Stomper. Puts him in a corner. Slater with a little punching. Now drops the Stomper down and goes in kicking. Slater with some big kicks. And Bob Sweetan is counting to try to get Slater out of there and let the Stomper back in underneath that rope. Dick Slater, you can see, is still staggered. But there he is going across the ring and kicking the Stomper on top of the head. The referee is checking the wounds of Dick Slater to see if he can continue in the match, and you can see Slater, he's ready to go. He grabs his stomper. Oh, and he throws him into the steel cage. Oh, he threw his head right into that steel cage. And the Mongolian stomper looking around, and Slater turns him around and gives him the big punch. Here comes Slater, throws him into the steel cage again. Well, Dick Slater, who looked like he was almost out of it, is going now to biting the wound of the Mongolian stomper. He's got that head into that steel cage, really pushing it in there tight now as Slater is up on the ropes and he finally backs out of there. Slater with a big boot to the top of the head of the Mongolian stomper. Dick Slater getting a little revenge here. He's going up on the top rope. What's he gonna do off of there? The stomper is still down. Here comes Slater flying off that top rope, and he drops that boot right into the chest of the Mongolian stomper. Slater with a punch, another punch, and another one as Slater really putting some big blows in there. Elbow to the top of the head by Dick Slater. Oh, and the stomper got out from underneath him that time. The Mongolian stomper putting some forearms in the chest of Dick Slater. A big kick from the Mongolian stomper. The stomper has Slater up, slams him to the mat. A stomper with a boot to the top of the head. Slater with an elbow smash. Dick Slater going after the Southwest heavyweight champion. Big judo chops from Slater, but the stomper grabs him and throws him into the referee. Oh, Slater was thrown into the referee. Now the stomper has the boot off. The stomper has taken his right boot off, and he has laid it on the head of Dick Slater. Sweet Dan comes in and blocks it this time. Now the stomper goes after Sweet Dan. Slater has picked up the boot. Slater lays it on the top of the head of the stomper. He's got him covered up. There's the count by the referee. It's 1, 2, 3, and Dick Slater has defeated the Mongolian stomper in a chain match. Don Carson, the manager of the Mongolian stomper, can't believe it. Now the stomper comes in behind Sweet Dan, who was a special referee. He knocked him out. Carson has Sweet Dan outside the ring, throws him into the steel post. Slater is in the ring with a stomper. Here comes Don Carson in, and Dick Slater's got him. Dick Slater going after Carson, but the stomper coming up. And the stomper grabs Dick Slater, puts a shin and a maki on him. And Carson closes the cage as Don Carson's Mongolian stomper has applied the shin and a maki to Dick Slater. Remember, the match is already over. Slater has won it. This is after the bell has already sounded. Sweet Dan trying to get back in the ring, but Carson has him locked out. There's the black glove. The black glove has appeared again right here in the Hemisphere Arena. Oh, and it goes to the head of Dick Slater. Another time. El Santo Negro has come into the ring. He comes off the top rope and knocks the stomper off of Dick Slater. El Santo Negro, the masked man, but he gets knocked down quickly. Sweet Dan is still in there, and Sweet Dan trying to knock both the stomper and Don Carson out of the ring, and here they come. They finally get out. Coco Samoa's there. So the Mongolian stomper is still the Southwest heavyweight champion, but I'll guarantee you what, if that title had been on the line, he would have lost it. He is leaving now. Dick Slater in bad shape. He's down in the ring after suffering some big blows from the stomper, and the stomper using that black glove. Bob Sweeten, the referee, still in there. Slater, the winner of the match. even though he is down now. That happened after the bell had sounded, officially signaling the end of the match. Dick Slater wins it over the Southwest heavyweight champion, the Mongolian Stomper, in a cage match, and we'll be back.
This next match is going to be a real treat because when we say 4 of the all-time legends of the business, we're going to see it. We're going to see Bruiser Brody, possibly the greatest brawler who ever lived, Lou Thez as a referee, one of the greatest wrestlers who ever lived, Nick Bockwinkel, a great technician who's defending the AWA championship in this match, and his manager, Bobby Heenan, all in one encounter.
That's right, Bobby Heenan, one of the greatest managers that ever lived, will take his charge, Nick Bockwinkel, into the ring against Bruiser Brody for the AWA title and the special referee, a man who's been world champion more times for a longer period of time than anyone else in history, a man who set the first $100,000 gate in professional wrestling, a man who has literally done it all, Lou Thez, the greatest wrestler of the 20th century, as the special referee. Folks, it doesn't get any better than this.
We're joining a match in progress for the World's Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Nick Bockwinkel, now has the head of Bruiser Brody, the challenger, scissored as Bruiser Brody, the big man, trying to take the golden belt and the World's Championship away from Nick Bockwinkel. Bobby the Brain Heenan, some people call him the Weasel, is the manager of Nick Bockwinkel. He is outside the ring talking to a ring announcer or someone down there at ringside as Nick Bockwinkel punishes Bruiser Brody with the head scissors. It's been an exciting match so far. It's been going on for better than 8 or 9 minutes now. A special referee for this match, a man who held the World's Heavyweight Championship for 6 different times, the great Lou Thez, checking with Bruiser Brody to see if he'd like to concede the match, and he says no. Nick Bockwinkel trying to finish Bruiser Brody off. Brody kicking those legs, trying to get that circulation going, trying to get out of that head scissor. Brody trying to come out. Bockwinkel keeping him locked in tight. Brody still unable to get out. Here he comes as he finally gets out and he grabs the leg of the world's champion, Nick Bockwinkel. Bruiser Brody, 290 pounds. Challenging Nick Bockwinkel for the World Championship. Right now, Brody getting the worst of it. As Bockwinkel has him covered up, here comes a count, and Brody has a leg over the bottom rope. Bockwinkel thinks he may have won the match already, but no, the leg of Brody was over the bottom rope. Oh, and Brody catches him with a big one as Bockwinkel came in after him. Bockwinkel right back. Brody now grabs the leg. Bockwinkel doubles those fists up, throws him to the back, trying to knock the big man off. Brody holding on to Nick Bockwinkel. Oh, Brody with a bear hug. Bockwinkel reaching up, trying to pull Brody off, but Brody backs him into the corner. Bruiser Brody, you can see him up on the ropes, getting right up on top of the world's champion, Nick Bockwinkel. Well, Bobby Heenan started in. Brody went after him, and you see Heenan, he doesn't want any part of Brody. Bockwinkel, the world's champion now, comes back. Brody stays right with him. Ooh, down goes Bruiser Brody. Bockwinkel from in behind. Get Brody down. He's got him down. There's no count. Heenan clapping for his world's champion. As you can see, Bockwinkel. As Brody scissored again. Bruiser Brody locked up by the world champion Nick Bockwinkel here on Southwest Championship Wrestling. Nick Bockwinkel holds on to Bruiser Brody. Brody trying to twist and turn to see if he can come up out of here. Here he goes. He's got Bockwinkel turned over, but Bockwinkel continues to roll, and Brody rolls with him, and Brody is still tied up in that scissor. And out underneath the bottom rope goes Bruiser Brody, and it'll get him a break. As Bockwinkel not only breaks, he comes in punching. Brody is laying underneath that bottom rope. The former world champion Lou Thez, who's acting as a special referee in this match, makes Bockwinkel get back as Brody rolls out onto the floor. Brody trying to make his way in. Bockwinkel goes over and grabs him, slams him down. And Bockwinkel throwing some punches as Brody unable to get into the ring. Now Bruiser Brody comes in on the other side, and Bockwinkel's waiting for him. Oh, what a big blow that the world's champion has thrown in there. There's another one. Forearm to the back of Bruiser Brody by Nick Bockwinkel. We're at the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio for event number 2. And what an event it has been. And you're just getting to watch the World's Championship match here. Bruiser Brody, the challenger, trying to knock out Nick Bockwinkel, the World's Champion. What a blow from Brody as the champion goes down. Brody reaches down, grabs him, throws him into the rope, between the ropes and out onto the concrete floor. And here comes Bruiser Brody outside. Brody grabs him by the hair, throws him into the timekeeper's table. Bruiser Brody with a forearm to the back of the world's champion Nick Bockwinkel. Bockwinkel is down. Brody is laying on the timekeeper's table. The referee, Lou Thez, is warning Brody to either take it into the ring or go back to the dressing room and be disqualified. Brody doesn't want to get disqualified because he wants to win that world's championship. Brody is up on the top ropes, and he comes down with that big fist right on top of the head of the world's champion Nick Bockwinkel, and it may be all over here. It may be all over here. Brody may be wearing that world's championship belt. Brody comes up with a big boot to the top of the head of the world champion Nick Bockwinkel. Another kick from Bruiser Brody. Brody kicks him back down. Bruiser Brody has got him covered up, and here's the count, and he only gets a 1. Bockwinkel is coming out underneath the bottom rope. Bockwinkel is out on the floor. He is staggered. Brody is going out on the other side. Brody going over to try to get Bockwinkel as Bockwinkel makes his way up onto the apron. Now he's inside the ring. Brody is outside the ring. And Brody lays him backwards across those ropes and throws that big forearm. Then he pushes him right into the center of the ring. And here comes Bruiser Brody in, looking to put the finishes on the world's champion. Here he's got him high up in the air. What's he going to do with him? Down he goes, and Heenan may have grabbed Brody. In fact, he did. And now Bobby Heenan, the manager of the world's champion, Nick Bockwinkel, running away from Bruiser Brody. Brody comes into the ring, and down goes Bockwinkel as Brody caught him with a big one. Brody reaches down, slams him to the mat. Bruiser Brody. High in the air he goes, and a knee across the chest of the world's champion. Here comes the count. It was 1, 2, and Heenan reached in and punched Brody. Now Brody is going after Heenan. I believe Brody would have won that fall and the match if Heenan hadn't interfered. Now Brody is turning on Bobby the Weasel Heenan. Brody goes back to the champion now. Oh boy, Brody throwing the world champion out of the ring. Now he's after Heenan, and there goes Heenan out of the ring. Here comes Brody out of the ring. Brody is going after a chair, and he has got the chair. Luthez tries to keep Brody from going into the ring with that chair. Bockwinkel is in the ring. You can see Brody holding on to that chair. Luthez is holding on to it. Brody has it. And he throws it down and he misses Bockwinkel. The referee Luthez grabs the chair, throws it out of the ring. Heenan consoles his world champion, as the world champion has been taking a beating here from Bruiser Brody. And they are leaving the ring. They are leaving the ring, and the referee has asked for the bell. Bruiser Brody will have his hand raised in victory, but that will not get him the world's championship, I don't believe. We'll wait and see. I believe the referee will wait for the official decision, but I'm just guessing now. I believe it's going to be a disqualification. Well, Bruiser Brody has been declared the winner of the match.
Mr. Heenan were in the ring. He has disqualified him, and a disqualification, the title does not change.
Well, what it was, that's right, Bobby Heenan interfered in the match as Brody looked like he had the pin. He got a 2 count. Heenan come in, punched him off, and then Brody went after Heenan and Bockwinkel, but the referee, Luthez, disqualifies the world's heavyweight champion, Nick Bockwinkel. The winner is Bruiser Brody, but he doesn't get the title as Nick Bockwinkel remains the world's heavyweight champion.